Okay, so I want to make a quick video on this lawn striping device I made for my Ariens zero-turn mower. It doesn't work on pretty much any mower. Basically just gives you the nice stripes in the lawn, like a baseball diamond type thing or a soccer field. So this is how I do it. You can buy this, but it's quite expensive. I think it's it's like over $400 or $500. You can build it for under $100. The biggest cost is these wheels here. So these wheels are just boat trailer sort of bumper wheels. You see them on boat trailers where the boat can bump and they roll. So these ones here I got at Princess Auto. It's like Harbor Freight type store. When they're on sale, they're actually a pretty good deal. So they're about $6 a piece, and when they're not on sale, they're about 15. So they kind of add up. For me, I'm using 14 of them just so I can get a 48-inch width, because you basically want them between the rear tires. They don't need to go wider than the rear tires. And obviously you don't want them less than the rear tires. So somewhere in there works good. Mine end up being just right in line with the outside because your wheels run over the grass, and obviously these tires are running over as well, pushing the grass down. Okay, so I'm just going to show you how I built mine. I've already put it together, welded it together. It was all just raw steel, and then I tested it, and everything worked out well. I just want to make sure everything was good before I painted it. So I figured this would be a good time to show you all the little parts and pieces. It's quite simple. But I'll start up here on the machine. So this is just a simple setup. This is just square tubing. I got 1 1/4 inch. It's just what I had, and then I used 2-inch down here, square tubing. And then the connection to the mower, I used it's a bolt. I had to make a bolt because I didn't have a bolt that long, so I just used threaded rod, welded a nut on the end of it, and created about a 4-inch long bolt. And then I did a washer, and it's 1/2 inch threaded rod, in case you're wondering. So 1/2 inch threaded rod, which is 3/4 inch drive nut here. And then I got a washer, locking nut, like a nylon locking nut, then a washer, and then I drilled through the frame of the mower. And on the back side, there's another one of these washers and another nylon nut. So they are tight, super tight. So this nut and the back nut are squeezing the two washers in the frame together. And then the thing actually pivots on this outside part here, as you can see. So it's actually pivoting right there. So these aren't super tight. Like I got it tight now because I know it's going to wear a bit into the paint, but you can usually spin these washers. And that's obviously the same on both sides. So the thing can move up and down. And it's nice using the steel because it has a fair bit of weight, and that's what you want. You don't want it crazy heavy, but you don't want it too light either, or else it's not going to press the grass down. So the combination of the steel and the wheels add a nice amount of weight. And then just using stuff I had this old hook from a strap or something, and then you got an eyelet here, so I drilled through the frame, put a bolt, a couple nuts, and then I put this little piece of chain on here. So I welded one chain link on here and then left this one free so that I can fold it up out of the way if I need to. So let's say you're cutting, or you're going down a driveway or something, or you're cutting in an area where you don't care if it's striped or not. You can keep it up off the ground, and the way I got it set up here, it keeps it up off the ground a few inches, which is good for my case. So let's get into assembling it, and I'll show you all the pieces. Okay, so in my case, I just decided to use a piece of black iron pipe. So this is 1/2 inch black iron pipe. I had it, and it's pretty close to being the inside diameter of this. So these are 7/8 holes in here with a bushing. And you do want to glue, this bushing is in here, it's pressed in, but it's not pressed in that well. So I glued all the bushings onto the rubber so they can't move around when they're on this shaft here. And yeah, that fits in pretty good. The outside diameter of 1/2 inch black iron pipe isn't quite 7/8, but it's pretty close. And it's nice to have a little bit of play. You don't want it super tight. So that worked out good. And so I just put a cap on the end, just a black iron steel cap, and tighten that one down crazy tight. And then basically all I'm using for spacers is 1-inch white PVC pipe, which is quite loose, as you can see. But it's the only size that really goes on. If you drop down to 3/4, obviously it's too tight. They do make a 7/8 internal diameter PVC pipe, super specialty, that you can get on Amazon. You get like a foot of it. It's like $15. I wasn't gonna wait and get that, just because this is gonna serve the purpose just as well. So just using what I got. And then these make it kind of nice. These are 7/8 inside diameter, washers, spacers. And I got these at a local hardware store, Rona, in Canada, if anyone's wondering. they slip on and they have about the same amount of play as the wheel, so that's good. So the way it works is I got the cap on here, and I would just put a washer wherever I knew there would be some sort of, you know, friction trying to happen. So I put one here, and then I put my first wheel on, and so that can spin around like that. And then, okay, another washer. Then I put my spacer, and these are cut 5/8 of an inch long, and you'll see why in a sec. So that goes on 5/8 of an inch. Then another washer, and then that goes in like that. And then I'm just gonna put it all the way through here to show you. But you can see here, the reason they cut 5/8 of an inch is because it keeps the tire away from the steel, and then this can roll, but then if the pipe tube is rolling as well, everything can kind of just roll around here, and there's, you know, a little bit of play, and there's no actual rubbing of the wheel on the steel. That's what I'm trying to prevent. So the washer's touching there. Anyway, pretty straightforward, just rolls really nice. Pull this out, and then same kind of thing on this side of it. Washer, spacer, washer, and I do 6 wheels. And then, 6 wheels there. And then washer, spacer, and another washer, and then we're gonna push that through there. And when I did the little prototype or whatever before I painted it, a couple of these bushings came out, the black ones that are in the wheels, and so they would make the wheel obviously flop around, which wouldn't actually be that bad because you get better contact with the ground, but I just didn't want the wheels wearing out in a weird way, so I decided to glue them in. And then this one, just going to put this on first. Actually, I'll do this. Okay, and then washer, spacer, washer, then final wheel, one more washer, and then all I do is put this cap on and just tighten it down so that it can't unthread itself. And obviously I cut this pipe to length, and then I do have a threading die, but I think you can go to any hardware store and get these cut to length. So yeah, I'll get this tightened down. You have to put a wrench on that end, wrench on this end, tighten it down. But yeah, I'll show some videos of me using it there and the stripes it creates. Okay, so that's tightened down now. So you can see there's just a tiny, tiny bit of play back and forth, which is what you want. You don't want super tight. And then everything just spins freely. And I notice when I'm mowing, sometimes, like 90% of the time it's spinning on the wheels and the shaft doesn't rotate. But sometimes, I don't know if you get a little bit of moisture in there or whatever, the shaft does try to rotate, but it's rotating on these steel things. And I mean, eventually it's gonna wear, but it's gonna be years and years and years before there's any wear on these metal axles type things. Or spindles, I guess you'd call them. So I just went with that, and yeah, worked out pretty well. And then you just drop it down, and like I said, it's got, I don't know, maybe right at the wheels, you know, it's spread out, but maybe 30 pounds, 40 pounds pushing down.